Hello, friends. It's the Cinemondo podcast with Kathy, Mark, and me. We're going to talk about, I am a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sorry, I am. I like it. I like what they do with it.
It's very popular.
It's kind of been successful. Yes,
people cry a lot about it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
if you
do
go
cry a
online,
lot.
there's people just weeping about it constantly. So much crying.
So much.
And like, you ruined my childhood. And it's like, you know what? It's doing what it's doing. Your childhood is still intact. You can always go back to that box under your bed and pull your comic books out and get back into the world that you love.
Don't
They're
worry.
still there. But the movies are trying to do something. They're trying to go in places that comic books didn't go. And they're delving into, I mean, a lot of the early stuff I think worked really well. Phase 1, phase 2, whatever, 3, whatever, because they finally decided it was a good idea to go back to the source material and go back to those original Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee creations that still live on in American pop culture mythology. And it's a huge mind to dig from. You read some of those old comic books and they're just great. Why not use that? And that's what they did. And I like that they do that. Now they're kind of pushing in to another phase where they're going into sort of the later comics. And there's one film coming up called Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. That's all.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
handing it over to you guys.
Well, I don't know Thunderbolts. So I'm more from the 60s and 70s. So but I obviously, when I look at the cast and I see the characters, I say, okay, there's familiarity. Like Florence Pugh plays Black Widow.
She plays a character from the film Black Widow.
Okay, all right. No, she doesn't. She's not Black Widow, of course. That's Scarlett Johansson, right? But she's from that movie.
Yeah.
And Wyatt Russell is U.S. Agent, which is from Falcon and the Snowman. Sebastian Stan is Bucky
Falcon
Barnes,
and the Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry,
Mark.
Oh my God, why is Mark doing this? Oh my God, you can tell.
You're ruining my childhood, Mark.
Falcon and the Snowman, Jesus. Woof. But I'll comment on
He was running drugs at some point.
Good movie.
I
remember that. Where he was,
yeah. Is it John Fleischer directing this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Welcome to 1985, Mark. But I'll just mention the cast. I'll just say Lawrence Fishburne's in it, Rachel Weisz, Harrison Ford, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Ayo Edebiri from The Bear, Daniel Bruhl, who's really good. I mean, it's a hell of a cast. So that's all I will say.
Well, telling you.
Right. But let's take a look at Is this a movie or a series? I don't even know.
I think it is a feature film, an upcoming superhero film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in theaters.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it because I like the Thunderbolts idea. I like the characters, the way they've been introduced slowly in other films. The Wasp and the Ant-Man and the Wasp introduced the character Ghost, and Black Widow introduced Yelena. And I really like Florence Pugh. I think everything she's done, she's been so different in everything she's done. And I loved her character in the Black Widow. I mean, that's sort of an underrated Marvel film, I think, Black Widow. I really like Scarlett Johansson. She's great as the Black Widow. Totally believable as this badass, ass-kicking kind of, been through a lot character. And Yelena shows up in there, and you're like, the chemistry between the two of them and the dynamic between who they are and what they've been through and all that. Really great stuff. And it's cool. Okay, here's a whole movie with these characters.
Now we got a whole movie with a ton of all right.
And it comes out May 2nd. It is a movie directed by Jake Schreier, who did something hasn't done a lot of stuff as far as movies, so this is kind of a breakout thing for him. He did a TV show called Puppet Rapist.
Yeah.
Nothing about it, but anyway.
I don't know how we missed that. How did we miss that?
All right, let's take a look at the trailer for Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
Cool. All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay, hold the work. And
let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
There's some big threat out there. And you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
So none of us can fly? So what, we all just punch and shoot?
I can't think of a worse group of people trying to work together.
Where are you?
Not heroes.
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past. Hey, it's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit.
You thought you were gonna be some great savior? You can't even save yourself.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
This has makings of team that can rise to glory. Bring light from the darkness. This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
Alexei, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
I like
Sense
this
of humor.
Marvel's not being super heroic.
Yeah.
That's fun to me, and I like because it brings that sense of humor that I like about Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They're so entertaining.
Well, that is the thing, that's the thing that's so great about Marvel compared to a lot of the DC stuff, is that Marvel did have characters that were flawed, like really deeply flawed. And in the old comic books, I mean, from the 70s, Iron Man was an alcoholic and had a drinking problem, and they dealt with it. And
No, that was Robert Downey Jr. actually.
no, it was actually before Robert Downey Jr. had a drinking problem. Iron Man did.
Tony Stark, yeah, and he sort of looked like he has different sort of look back in the 70s. Iron Man, he almost looked like Tom Selleck or something. It was weird. It was different.
Or yeah, he was
somebody.
kind of like a Howard Hughes, I think, is what they were trying to show him as, with the little with the little thin mustache and the,
right.
Yep.
And but these characters, I think, are flawed in that great Marvel way. It's I love the fact that it's like none of us can fly.
Like they're all tied up and ratty looking. They're all like,
and they don't want to be a team. They
Right.
don't want to. Who are you? Like we have to work together. That kind of thing. So I think and it's a very likable cast. I like everybody in there. They're all sort of like people actors I like. So that looks totally fun.
Yeah.
And it's coming out May 2nd. It's going to be a huge movie. Like Marvel. There was kind of a run here. I'll say, what the thing
Bit of a lull.
Marvel. There was sort of like these films weren't exactly, for me in any way, they were like films that weren't sort of like the Thor films. They weren't sort of hitting my superheroes, sort of what I like about superheroes. Like I love
like
Daredevil.
the Marvels and the Eternals and things like that.
Yeah, it was a little too out there, for
Yeah.
me. It just didn't sort of work as far as the characters. But this seems like it's getting back to sort of maybe not ground level sort of stuff, but a street level Marvel, but sort of proper
little
Marvel.
Above the Daredevil level, I think. But
sure.
But it still kind of goes into that idea of, we're not gods from Asgard. We're not billionaire inventors. And that thing of like the self-doubt, that they used to write into a lot of these characters, like Peter Parker used to constantly say, what the hell am I doing? I'm endangering my Aunt May, and I have to pass this test this week. Next week on Monday, I have an exam that I have to pass, and and
the casting is really good.
Yes.
Like what I think is interesting is we have two sons of icons in this movie. We have Louis Pullman, who's the son of Bill Pullman, who's been in a million of these kind of movies, and then we have Wyatt Russell, who's Kurt Russell's son, who was also in Monarch with Kurt Russell, playing a younger Kurt Russell. Very meta, very cool.
Right.
But two really cool actors that came from legends in movies. So I love that they're in the same movie. And in a way, they're kind of like the sons of icons. In a way, this movie is sort of that. In a way, when you think they're kind of the step down heroes trying to make the game, it's kind of interesting.
Well, the Wyatt Russell character is kind of funny because he is basically created in the. If you watch the Falcon and the Snowman and the Winter Soldier, his character was created as like a marketing device, basically. Like we need a superhero, and he was hired because he kind of looks like Captain America, but then he gets pushed into a situation where he has to actually act like Captain America. And it's a great character. It's a great idea for a character. And here, here he is in a team where he's basically like, I'm not really super,
Exactly.
What is the asterisk after Thunderbolts or the star? What is that?
That's a question a lot of people have.
Okay.
And we don't know. Interesting.
There it is. See, there's an asterisk.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably an asterisk. You go down and go, not heroes or something. That's all I can imagine.
Now with more Bucky.
So there's the Wheaties box they talked about. Very, very cool inside joke. There's now a poster, which I think is kind of fun.
Yeah. I love that Florence Pugh is in the front and center here because she has that kind of gravitas that I like in actors like this. You cannot play a character like that unless you have the depth in your eyes and in your presence and your, in the way you present yourself on camera. And she's able to play, we saw her, I think the first time I was aware of her was in Midsummer, the Ari Aster film. And she was so good in that as someone who was kind of a little bit weak, not so much weak, but overwhelmed with the things that had happened in her life. And she was kind of just going with the flow and kind of, I don't know what's happening to me kind of a character. But then I saw her in Black Widow and I was like, wow, she can really play these strong, unbeatable
she's a hell of an actor.
I mean, look at her in this poster here.
This is funny. Like she's bored while everyone's fighting. I like, you probably have seen that famous poster, Sons of Anarchy poster. It's the same thing where it's just a wall of people fighting, which was also based on that Seth Rogen. What was that movie about the end of the world? Maybe it's called The End of the World.
This was something like not the end, but This Is the End.
Yeah, something like that, where same thing, this wall of people just fighting and carrying on and things like that, which always works. The only thing that bothers me of this poster is that empty space at the top right. Just bugs me because the whole thing should be completely full. And it's like, why is that there? So anyway. But cool poster, did pretty good job photoshopping this together because that's a really hard thing to do. They all have to be interacting and the lighting is all wrong. It's just like, but they did it and it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So I like that.
It does look good.
So there it is. Thunderbolts.
I'm looking forward to this. It looks like a lot of fun. And it just looks like some wild things are happening. Whatever evil force is just knocking.
We don't even know what it is yet.
But I think with
falling and zapping people, I don't know what that is.
I think it's going to be big Marvel summer because Thunderbolts and then Fantastic Four. I mean, that's a big 1-2 punch.
And we have the Captain America film that's out right now that people seem to be liking.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The ones who aren't weeping and crying and.
Weeping and crying. I'm just glad they're getting back to stuff like that, which I, as opposed to some of this other stuff, which just seemed a little bit too, like it didn't interest me because the characters weren't really developed, and I could kind of latch on to them. So,
to me, what the great strength of all these Marvel films are, the best of them, the great strength in it is the casting.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I found out that. Back in the olden days when I found out that Robert Downey Jr. was going to play Iron Man, Tony Stark, I was like, how perfect. That's so perfect.
So perfect.
And then when I was thinking, oh no, if they're going to do the Avengers, they're going to have to go into this other realm of reality and bring in Thor. How the hell are they going to pull that off? Because he's from another planet and that changes everything.
Yep.
And they pulled it off. They did it. They got a really good actor to play Thor. I mean, he sold it. He sold the idea of his character. And
agreed.
You get good casting.
That's right. It's all about casting. And this looks like a good cast. Okay.
Looks like a Marvel winner. Marvel Thunderbolts, May 2nd.
Can't
wait.
There'll probably be more trailers.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. See you guys. Bye.